Welcome back, party people. Today we're going to talk about the using GA4 API to get that data into Looker Studio and build out a report with a combination of dimensions and metrics that is not normally easily done inside of Looker Studio. That was a mouthful, so we're going to hop right into it. I'm going to show you how this works to a T without pulling any punches, using some filters, using some pivot tables, using some other super fun stuff. But first of all, if you have not yet joined the Looker Studio newsletter, download this cheat sheet. The perfect dashboard cheat sheet gives you 8 optimization points that allows you to easily systematize hitting publish on your reports every single time. And also you can join our newsletter and have a ball every single Thursday morning at 7 a.m. I hit send on that. So join this, it's a blast. All right, let's hop into it. So let me just kind of exacerbate the problem here. All right, first thing is that say you were like, let me just see, we have items, or let's just say we wanted to have a funnel, right? So we wanted to have a number of sessions who then saw a lead magnet, became aware of a lead magnet, did another thing to a lead magnet, any of those types of things, right? So say that was the example. How could you do that? Well, you could come in here and you could add in like the item's name, right? So you could have an item thing. Let's just use the item ID. You could then kind of like decide if you want to use view items, right? View item events, and bam, ta-da, problem in your face. So here you will see that the problem is that these combination of item name and or ID or SKU and then view item events do not work together, okay? Does not work together. So I'm gonna show you a way to do that using sessions. So the sessions that achieved each event step. And in combination with that, you can layer in different types of doing things. So I'm gonna use leads as an example for the method of doing this. And then you can add this to any workflow that you possibly could desire. So without further ado, let's hop into it. Let's go to event name and we are gonna add in number of sessions, all right? Okay, so here's every event name and here's the number of sessions. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna show you this page right here. So here's the page we wanna optimize for. How many people saw this page? How many people engaged with this content? How many people clicked into this form? How many people filled the form out? If you have not yet, you should go do it too. Go over lookerstudio.vip/YouTube gets you on this page. So how do we do that? Well, we have the event name. We can figure that out. It's kind of hard, blah, 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 difficult. But what we could do is we can actually add a filter to include only specific event names. And if we planned accordingly, it should work. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first turn this table into a pivot table. All right, so here we go. Pivot table should be up and running. So we have the session event name on the far left, the event name. We have the number of sessions on the far right, and we are there right now. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna have the session source. So we're gonna keep everything session based, don't bite me. So here we can go session source. Actually, just for the sake of simplicity, let's use session medium. Just have a few less like kind of breakdowns here because there's not a lot of mediums. But let's just say you were a higher volume traffic and you wanted to see how many different like conversion actions you had. Then across the top, you can add the event name. All right, so now you have the event name at the top. Here's every single event and it will be sorted by default. I think it's automatically do whatever you do for row number 1, it will automatically sort descending, which is what we want. But now, how do we get our little funnel for this page, right? I want to know how well it's converting because I'm sending you people on YouTube to this page. How do we do that? Let's get down to business and defeat the Huns. All right. Add a filter. We're going to create a filter. We're going to include the event names that we've already done. So this is something called the Foresight system we teach over at betterthandata.com. Go check it out. If you want to join, we'll teach you exactly how to do this. But here I'm going to use the event name, all right? And I want to use any event name which uses a regex match. And I want to put $, literally anything, and in lead and a $. So that will be anything that ends in a lead. We want to make sure we include our naming conventions. So include event name, that regex match to $, lead, $. So now we know what it is at a glance, all right? And what you will see is as this loads up, folks, we now have a little funnel. So what we can do is we can see, if we hit view, we can see exactly how many people had an impression of a lead, aware of a lead, engage a lead, and generate a lead. That's it. Ta-da, we did it. So now we have the entire site. So let's go over to our website. We can then also see that there are other ways to become a lead. If you only had one lead magnet on your site, you implemented the Foresight system and you wanted a little funnel to show you each individual step, or if you had e-commerce, or a view item, add to cart, initiate checkout, begin checkout, purchase, right? Same concept works. But what if you have multiple different ones? So here, let's just go to our tools and I'll show you that we have a lot more lead magnets than just an individual like one. So say you wanted to just download the super scorecard, which is a super sweet scorecard thing, put your little name and information in there. You don't even have to if you don't want to. You can click right here, but I'd implore you to do so. So how do we have that breakdown in here? Well, now we got some options. What we've done is inside of Google Analytics, we have created a custom dimension of the name of the thing that people are downloading. So that would be the funnel name, the lead name, etc. So let's add that in here, and we can actually say, I want to include the Foresight name. So now what you will see is you have the share for the cheat sheet, 30, 35, 23, 16, bam. And then here, super scorecard, nobody but one person skipped. They clicked on this thing and did not give me their email address, those little turds. And then here's the cheat sheet organically, right? So now we have it broken down by every individual step. And then you could easily add it down for the event name as well. So now you could have a little tiny funnel here for impression lead, how many of each individual one is working for you, or even more fun, what you can do is add on, expand, and collapse. So you could start out at the session source or session medium, add in the actual name of the thing. So now you're breaking it down by each individual one, and you have a little funnel, right? So the last thing I want to show you is that if you get rid of this, now you have the Foresight name and each individual one. So you have a better idea of how many leads are happening at each individual one. And you can always add in the totals at the bottom. So how many sessions achieved each individual one, how many sessions engaged with that funnel there. And then you can copy this entire thing, put it up here, drag this down, put this up, and you can change this one to then be your session source. So instead of the name, we now have the session source we're using session medium. All right, so now we have the session medium. We can hit reset on this. We are back to normal. In the past, whatever this is, 14 days, 28 days. We can then click on this. Now we have the broken down of share. We can unclick this. We can look at organic traffic. How many people have seen our different lead magnets this past week from organic? So we've got 21 people seeing the cheat sheet, 6 people seeing the image rendered grid, 3 people seeing super scorecard. So you might be screaming at your screen and being like, I want to know the conversion rate. I want to know how this is happening. Well, this is kind of like a last ditch effort because you can easily find any event you'd like to. So I'm going to show you now how to do this with kind of the GA4 demo store because they have e-commerce. So everyone cross your fingers with me and let's hope that it opens up inside of this. So here we go. Let's add in some data. I'm going to say select data. We are going to select in add some data, go into GA4, select the demo store, and we are going to grab the GA4 merchandise shop, and let's just see what happens. So let's say you're in an e-commerce store and you want to do the same thing. The problem you're going to run into is along with the API limits. So we might hit it here, but let's find out. So now we've got that same filter applied, I think. No, we don't. Okay. But now what we can do is we can add in a new filter and let's just include our e-commerce events. So we're going to include the event name. All right. That we're going to use a regex match, and let's just type in some of the core e-commerce data. So view underscore item with a pipe, which is an or sign if you're like not nerdy like me. View item add underscore to underscore cart. I don't remember exactly all of the ones that the demo store uses, but begin checkout and purchase. All right, so here's all the events that do this. I'm just going to add a new filter here. And we were going to hit save on that. And now what you should see is a little funnel, view item, begin checkout, add to cart, and purchase. And herein lies the problem with doing this method is it is sorted left to right. So view item, purchase, begin checkout, add to cart. Left to right doesn't make a lot of sense. So now you have to make a decision of like, does it make sense of how we have everything set up as far as our tracking goes? Is it possible that somebody could have, like, again, a lot of different ways to do this, but you can kind of see how that might play into things. But what we can do here is we can actually sort by sessions, and now it should be hopefully a little bit better. So view item, purchase, begin checkout, add to cart, but we're not able to do that manually. But don't worry, guys. I've got an option for you to fix this. So because this is looking at the actual event name, what we can do is we can modify those event names and sort it actually by the event name. So instead of sorting it by sessions, we can sort it by event name, and we can do things like this. So let's just make a new field here, and we're going to create a case statement that is going to be renaming these to be in alphabetical order or inside of an order that makes sense if you have an e-commerce store where people can purchase or begin checkout without triggering the previous step. So when event name equals view underscore item, then we can call this a item and we can go on from there. So guys, that is how you can actually do this. Is you can say, hey, then a item, or let's just say step 1, and we can just copy this entire thing here and say when is this, when in this, view item, add to cart, add to cart, then step 3, step 2, and we're going to do purchase as well, view item, add to cart, and purchase. And all we're doing here is we are just renaming everything, guys. So forgot my double quotes here, and end. So here is step name. And this, folks, allows you to now sort by step 1, step 2, step 3. We must not be sorting by our step name. That's why. Put that up here. And get rid of the rest. So now we should be able to sort by this. So let's just do this one last time. We have to figure out how to sort by this. And now you can see right there that the event names are now there. Let's just get rid of this event name. All right, there we go. All right, so now you should have a few tips and tricks under your sleeve to be able to say, hey, view item, add to cart, purchase, etc. Or use your lead breakdown as far as impression aware, etc. As you want to add new leads or new systems to your processes. This is one little trick you can take out of your back pocket and hopefully visualize something that's a little bit more useful using GA4.